Hey YouTube, welcome back to another video. Callum here from Try Paladins. I hope you're all well. This will most likely be the last video for this year, so I figured we'd do something interesting with another deck profile. Seems after Varroa had a lot of hype, I figured I'd do another deck profile on another deck that had a lot of attention, with a new form. So I figured, why not? Apologies, I do have a bit of a cough. So let's get into the ride line and you'll see what we got. So, Spark Kid Dragoon for the grade 0. Grade 1, Red River Dragoon. So as you can tell, we are doing Vermillion. So, Red River. When this unit is read upon by a grade 2 of any Narukami for its clan, search your deck for up to 1 Eternal Thunderbolt, reveal it, put a hand, shuffle your deck, and then its other skill is Rearguard Circle. When this unit boosts, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Narukami in its clan, counterblast 1, choose one of your opponent's battle rearguards, bind it. If you don't mind, you may sell charge 2. It's alright, but with new supports out, you don't need extra copies, so it's only good for the ride line. Next up for the grade 2, Thunderstorm Dragoon. And its skill is, when this unit is read upon by a grade 3 of only Narukami for its clan, look at the top 7 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 card with only Narukami for its clan, or up to 1 Eternal Thunderbolt from among them, reveal it, put it in a hand, shuffle your deck. So what's good about that is that a lot of new units are having the skills where they basically get treated as Narukami, which opens up a lot of options for Thunderstorm. And then when this unit is placed on rearguard, if you have a Vanguard with only Narukami for its clan, solo charge 1 and plus 5k. Which is obviously good on the grade 2 turn, because 1, you're building soul and it's a 15k attacker. And lastly, I am running the base version of Vermillion. So once per turn, counterblast 1, choose 2 of your units with only Narukami for their clan, and they get 5k power until the end of the turn. Until the end of the turn, when this unit would attack, choose 2 of your opponent's rearguard circles, and this unit battles all of the units on the chosen rearguard and your opponent's vanguard, which is quite nice. And luckily for this gets around cards that have retired abilities, so like Ava's grade 1 upset order for Obskiddy, you can actually get around the Obskiddy game around with this. Especially comboing with Eternal Thunderbolt. At the end of the battle that this unit attacked, if you played a normal order this turn and your opponent's damage zone is 4 or less, discard a card from hand, choose one of your opponent's vanguards and deal a damage. It's always good early game to proc that. But I tend not to do it with the new supports coming out. So speaking of new supports, what do we get? We got the legend himself, Dragonic Kaiser Vermillion the Blood. Obviously running 4 of. So skill is Continuous Vanguard. During your turn, if your soul has Dragonic Kaiser Vermillion, this unit gets 5k. Then, if your opponent's Vanguard is grade 3 or greater, this unit gets critical plus 1. And all of your front row rear guards get 5k power, which is really nice. Act Vanguard once per turn, cost Soul Blast 1, and at the end of the turn, when this unit would attack, choose 2 of your opponent's rear guards circles, and this unit battles your opponent's Vanguard and all the units on the chosen rearguard, much like the original one, but instead of a counterblast, you're paying a Soul Blast. And then bottom skill, at the end of the battle this unit attacked, if you played a normal order this turn and your opponent's damage zone has 4 or less cards, discard a card from hand, choose one of your opponent's vanguards and deal it damage. So having the crit power and 5k basically to the whole front row is very nice, adding in that pressure. Next up, 4 copies of Eternal Thunderbolt. So this card can be played from drop, so bear in mind you can play this normally, and if you do play it normally, it doesn't bind, so you can technically play this card twice per copy. So this card can be played from drop, and play this card if you have a Vanguard with Vermillion in its card name and only Narukami for its clan. Choose one of your Vanguards, and until the end of the turn, it gets Continuous Vanguard Circle. When your opponent's rearguard is hit by the unit that would be retired from rearguard, bind instead of retiring, and Continuous Vanguard. If your opponent has no rearguards, all of your front row rearguards get plus 5k. If you played from drop, bind it. So it's quite nice. So technically you can play them 8 times. So if you do get them in hand, either dish them for the right cost or play it from hand so you can sell. Moving on to grade 2s, 1 copy of Drag Ridder Falhot. So these were the new Counterblast Energy Blast cyclers that we got in set 1. So when this card is put on Guardian from hand or discarded from hand or while riding from the right deck, Counterblast 1 or Energy Blast 3 and draw a card, which is basically quite nice and it's the only reason it's in here. And then when this unit is placed on rearguard, if you persona red this turn, Counterblast 1 or Energy Blast 3, choose a grade 1 card without Sentinel from your drop and call it to a back row rearguard circle. So the only reason I run 1 is just simply just for the discard. Next up, 3 copies of Dragonic Death Safe. A very good card in this deck. So during your turn, if your opponent's rearguard has no rearguards, this gets 5k power, even on a grade 2 turn. When this unit attacks a Vanguard, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with only Narukami for its clan, Soul Blast 2, choose one of your opponent's rearguards, bind it. If you do not bind a card, draw a card, which is quite nice. So a lot of the cards in this deck have draw potential, but obviously I still run the Drag Ridder and other cards that give me access to draws simply because you need hand. And speaking of draw in hand, 2 copies of the new Bellicosity Dragon. So these are part cards that basically, if you don't have a G zone and Vanguard only has 1 clan, you get all the skills. And what's good about Bellicosity is that it fits into Vermillion and Overlord. So when this unit is placed on rearguard, cost Energy Blast 3, put 1 card from hand into your soul and draw 2, which is quite nice, considering if you run the blood in your ride line and have normal Vermillion in your deck, you can technically put Vermillion in this way, but I find having the blood in the deck and only the Vermillion in the ride line is better because you're already straight into the 5k. And then when your Vanguard attacks, this unit gets power plus 5k, which, like Burning Horn, it will stack more attacks you do with the Vanguard, which means running the Dragon Empire OT is ideal for the restand and attacks. Next up, 2 copies of Demonic Dragon Nymph Kashin. So if you have a Vanguard with only Narukami for its clan, this card is already a Narukami. And this is what I was mentioning with Thunderstorm earlier. When this unit is placed on rearguard from hand, if you have a Vanguard with only Narukami for its clan, look at the top 7 cards of your deck, choose up to 1 card with either Vermillion in its card name and has only Narukami for its clan from among them, or up to 1 card named Eternal Thunderbolt from among them. Reveal it, put it into your hand, shuffle your deck. If you reveal a card, choose a card from hand, either put it into soul or discard it. So obviously this is good for getting the blood early, and then if you do hit it and you have an Eternal Thunderbolt in your hand, like 1 too many of them, you can just discard that for the cost, and at least it gives you Vermillion set for turn 4. And obviously it's bottom skill, which I almost missed. When this unit attacks, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Vermillion in its card name and only Narukami for its clan, cost Counterblast 1, and this unit gets power plus 10k into the end of the turn. At the end of the turn, bind it. Now, 9 times out of 10, I typically don't use the bomb skill because my boards normally consisted of Bellicosity and Death Safe. And the only good thing about that card is simply the on-place top 7 look for a Vermillion. Now, moving on to the grade 1s. We are running Spark Spike Dragon. Try saying that a few times over. So, this came out in set 3. If you have a Vanguard with Narukami for its clan, this card is also treated as Narukami, like Kashin. If you have a Vanguard with Narukami for its clan, all of your other rearguards in the same column as this unit get 5k power. If your Vanguard attack 2 or more, if your Vanguard's attack hits 2 or more times this turn, they get 10k instead of 5, which is very easy to do. At the end of the battle, this unit boosted. If your Vanguard's attack hits 2 or more times this turn, Energy Blast 3 and draw a card. Pardon me. So, again, it's draw power. And considering really that this and Bellicosity are the only things in my build, pardon me, that use energy, you do have a fair amount of energy stacked up. Next up, 3 copies of Rising Phoenix. This card's always good for early game or late game. When a card is bound during your turn by your card effect, if you have a Vanguard or a Narukami for its clan, Soul Boss 1 calls the card, which also works if you bind the set order from drop. At skill, retire this unit, choose one of your units, and I get 5k into the end turn, which is not restricted to Narukami. So that's one good thing about Rising Phoenix. And this procs during the battle phase, which means multi-attack from Vermillion. Who saw that coming? And then I am running 3 copies of Multiple Strokes Dragon. So the reason I run this is because of its skill. If your opponent's drop has 5 or more cards, this unit gets 5k power and 5k shield active on the opponent's turn. So this is a 10k shield and a 13k attack or booster. Because to be honest, 5 cards and drops pretty easy depending on who you're playing against. So it's mainly there for shield value and occasionally a booster. Especially in the back row centre, since Spark Strike can't boost the Vanguard, but 9 times out of 10 that's normally taken up by another unit, which is this guy, Dragon Monk Gojo, the counter charger of the deck. So, for those who don't know by now, Dragon Monk Gojo's skill is when the Vanguard's attack, this unit boost hits, retire this unit and counter charge 1. So the good thing about this is that 9 times out of 10, people only guard the Vanguard with Vermillion skill, which means you attack the rear guards. That can still proc Gojo's thing, because it doesn't require you to hit the Vanguard, it just means hit the attack hits. So if you hit the rear guard via Vermillion, it still procs your counter charge. And then lastly, 4 PGs. We don't really need to go into specifics, it's PGs. Moving on to the triggers. Drag Vader. That's all I need to say. It's the 1OT you want to run in this. 2 effect draws. I would have 3, but I currently only own 2. And to make up for it, I'm running a front trigger just for the 15k shield. I mean, sometimes I can easily proc a front row rear guard, but yeah. 8 crits. Crit heavy. It's the best thing, especially in any Dragon Empire deck build, but in Vermillion, it's just more crits on crits on crits. And obviously, 4 heals. So, I hope that's helpful for you all. I mean, I'm welcome for opinions, as some have stated in my Roroa. At the end of the day, it's personal preference on deck building. I just show you my build, and honestly, this build has a 50-50 win ratio currently. It's just down to who I go against and what sort of decks. Come the new year, there will be more videos coming in, starting with potentially Stride deck sets. I am looking at getting Nitros, so I will do an unboxing for that. And obviously, as we come in, we'll have new set boxes openings. We'll try and get some fights in. I know it's been deck profiles at the minute. It's been hard to try and get people together in quiet places to do deck fights. So yeah, and on behalf of Tri Paladins, we wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. See you in the new year, guys. Bye.